Hello, everyone, and welcome to this month's conversation. I am delighted to have Authentique Memorial Empowerment Foundation with me today, and my guests come from across the world. First, I have Margaret Niger-Thomas, who is the founder and executive director of AMEF, as it is known. Hello, Margaret.
Hello, Vina.
I also have Rigo Rashilda Mah, who is joining us from Hue in Cameroon. Welcome, Rigo.
Hi, Vina. Thank you.
Welcome to this conversation. So, Margaret, I thought I'd start with you. Cameroon has a fascinating history. We have funded Cameroon before, but we are delighted to reacquaint ourselves with it. So tell us the cultural context of Cameroon. What's happening today?
Thank you, Vina, for this wonderful opportunity. I'm grateful about it. Cameroon has been a relatively peaceful country over the years since independence in 1960. But then there are two cultures, the French and the English. Due to disparity in the educational system and the legal system of Cameroon, this led to a strike by the teachers and the lawyers in 2016 that break out into an armed conflict. And today we are plunged in a lot of crisis whereby the English part of Cameroon is grossly affected and families are devastated into the bushes because of the armed conflict situation. Children are separated from their parents. A lot of orphans, young teenage mothers, due to the effects of the crisis. You get to know that AMEF is founded in Kumba, and that's the heart of the crisis. So we are operating in a very difficult zone where the crisis took off. And here we have families who are subsistence, rural households around the environment. I mean, polygamous, we are a major patrilineal system with more polygamous households. Now, the crisis has led to a lot of devastation. And as AMEF, we're doing a lot to see of our communities once more.
Yes. So that is today. The conflict started 2016 and it seems to be persisting. But there is a fascinating story about you, Margaret. You are a social anthropologist. You have an interest and specialization in women and gender studies. But a long time ago, you entered these communities to collect data.
Yeah.
Tell us more about the origin story of AMEF.
Yeah, it's very interesting. I like telling the story because I came across one of the communities very hard to reach enclave. I came across two little girls who described themselves as money women. Money woman simply means they're like commodities that are being sold out to aged men. And this led to my finding on the concept of money woman. I even went out, did a research, a baseline study on tackling early forced marriage and eradicating the money woman phenomena. There I discovered that the girl child in these communities are completely devoid of education. Their dignity, their rights are thwarted. And of course, you see a case study of a money woman aged 15 years, married to a 70 years retired policeman, reveal the disparity between ages, the fact that the family male has initiated the giving out of girl child into early forced marriage for their personal benefits. The girl child is often separated, experiencing early separation, widowhood, and of course early sexual intercourse, which is most often in the form of rape. There is also a lot of promiscuity in this situation. And of course, the girl child bound into polygamy experiences a more vulnerability in terms of health, during childbirth and pregnancies. She feels abused and robbed of her childhood. All of these led AMEF the need to advocate for the rights of the girl child and women entrapped in early forced marriage, also to socially empower the female gender, led to the creation of the Authentique Memorial Educational Foundation in 2006. But this approach, we expanded, we decided to take a more holistic perspective, considering the fact that giving the children education without empowering their parents, who are mostly female-headed, and mostly going through a cycle of poverty in the families will not keep them in school. Sometimes they don't even have what to eat. They don't have the didactic materials to be in school. So the parent mothers have to be empowered economically to keep their children in school. Hence, this led to our programs. And in 2014, the name of AMEF changed to Authentic Memorial Empowerment Foundation, maintaining the same acronym and running 3 programs.
Wonderful, wonderful. You know, a lot of projects that we fund, Together Women Rise funds across the world, is addressing this issue of young girls being commodified, being, strayed away from education and not being able to have any kinds of self-determination. And but parents, I suppose, are facing pressures, poverty. Yeah. So, Rigo, what are AMEF's very, very unique programs? Your model is community-based. It is holistic, and you are really well known for the interventions that you have in your community. So tell us more about it.
Thank you so much for the opportunity, Vina. I'll just quickly share with you so you can have like a quick view of what AMEF has been doing. Okay, but our programs are divided into 3. Mm-hmm. So the first thing, like the ED stated, we started with educational programs for children. And this was to stop the whole phenomenon of early marriages. So to give them more opportunities at a better future, to shape their perspective, shape their mind, and let them know that they can, become anything that they want to become. So we started with the education and child protection program with child-friendly spaces, education cannot wait, last mile learning. These are some of the different sub-programs under the whole educational package. And like I said, the main point was to bring children, vulnerable children from female-headed households, from poverty-stricken communities, into the educational system. And we equally noticed that in order to keep these children in school, we need to empower their parents, because if you keep them, we cannot guarantee the sustainability of us paying their fees and all of the didactic materials. So we brought in the economic development and livelihood program. This is basically to empower their mothers with entrepreneurial skills, high income generating activities, agripreneurship, climate change, smart agriculture, and even food procession. So not just them maybe learning how to farm or better farming methods, but equally teaching them how to preserve this produce to reduce the percentage of food that gets bad. And then we quickly noticed that to actually achieve all the impacts that we want to have, there's a little bit of marginalization, discrimination, human rights abuse. So we incorporated the human rights, gender protection and peace components. This is basically to tackle the human rights abuse in the communities, advocate women's restoration and integration in development. And, with the context that we are facing, the peace component had to be a part of the discussion because we are in a very, very tight and conflicted environment. And equally to mention, it's really what he mentioning that the GROW project has all the components, the 3 components mentioned in our programs, because the GROW project does not only seek to empower the children educationally, both formal and informal education, but equally seeks to promote economic empowerment, that is through vocational training. And there's a psychosocial support aspect of it, which comes into play to improve on the rights, improve on the mental and psychological well-being of the participants. So you can see that the GROW project, which we are really grateful for, Together Women Rise was funding it. We are really, really appreciative. The GROW project also has the 3 main pillars that AMEF works on. Thank you so much.
Addressing this really quickly to both of you, you are seeing changes in helping families kind of delay this just marry now, money now versus pushing it off into the future and helping them dream about a better future. You are seeing the changes in the community, correct?
Can I go?
Yeah, go.
Okay. From my side, I know Dr. Margaret has a lot to say about the impacts, but I think from the little I've been able to do so far, I would say the impact is we can see the change in as much as it's in a very slow pace, because we have to deconstruct a lot of stereotypes, a lot of traditional cultures and beliefs that have been held by these people for a very long time. So it's taken a lot of time to really have the mind transformation that we want to see, but we are getting there. At least we can say the rate of early marriages has really drastically dropped. Girls are going to school up to the university level. We have women participating in politics. Women are getting into business, entrepreneurship. I think that's the change we want to see, but the percentage might not be as high as we had hoped, but we are getting
making progress. Wonderful, wonderful. So, Dr. Margaret, what would you say, and what are your future plans? You've been working in this community for so long.
I would say changes, and you can see this magnified. First of all, in AMEF being a female-led organization, most of our staff have been female, and we definitely wanted this because considering marginalization of women based on our cultural practices, there was a need to come up with an organization that female can be empowered, they can do what men did, and we are doing it. And that's why, even though, like Rashida said, it's a bit slow paced, but then we often tackle both practical and strategic needs. So looking at the practical, we can see women already into petty trading, women into hairdressing, thanks to the growth, like she said. More of it comes to reinforce what we have been doing, and especially in the context of the crisis. For the future, looking at we are still in the crisis, in the armed conflict, and we don't know when it will end. But then, as an organization with a community-based focus, we can sit and see the community derailed, women scattered, health institutions, lactating mothers. We are still empowering them, and that's why we mainstream gender and protection. We carry out protection mainstreaming, ensuring that even the documentations of families that have been devastated, they can still have some esteem, because without having documents to go ahead, there's nothing you can do. We look at different categories. That's our future plan takes in consideration different categories of gender, and we identify needs based on practical and strategic. Some are long-term, and that's why the results too may be long-term. Like when you give psychosocial, we give educative talks, you give training, certain vocational trainings will attract practical needs, and you can see the results right there. We are seeing them. Time does not permit to give you percentages and number, but then strategic needs identified, they take a longer time, and you can measure the impact. So far, we talked of the case of commoditizing girls. Some of them, we have results in the community where I went right now, because these communities, women, commoditized girls, how can we form them? They come into a group, and they are able to sustain themselves. And they are also standing as advocates for other girls being commoditized. So these are some impacts and possible future plans to get more results based on our practical and strategic needs identified within the community.
Wonderful. Well, change always takes time, but
Sure.
if we're working in the communities as hard as AMEF is, these are wonderful, well thought out programs that will have its impact, and it is our delight to partner with you on this. But before we go, I just wanted to have both of you share some little thing about Cameroon. If we were to visit Cameroon tomorrow, Rigo, what would you want us to do?
I'll say if you were to come to Cameroon today, you need to experience our food. That is from kati to soya to achu. I think it's going to be a very memorable experience for you, because one thing is our food, we don't have a lot of similarities with with other countries. So it's something that you're going to experience just in Cameroon. I think our food stands out so much. And anytime you come to Cameroon, I will be so excited to have you and take you around town, to eat the different delicacies that we have.
Wonderful. Dr. Margaret, you have the last word in the few seconds we have left.
Yes, I mean, we always welcome visitors to Cameroon. We are in the land of hospitality as we address our region where we come from. And we have a lot of sculptures, beautiful traditional dances. And we share some traditional similarities with the Nigeria bordering country, the ethics, where we have beautiful traditional displays during festivals. So we would like to treat you into one of our cultural festivals in the Jagam zones near the Nigeria border. And you will like it. You will enjoy the sculptures, the displays, the food display, like Rashida has said. We usually have lots of competitions to see the best cook and that kind of a thing attached to our displays. So you will enjoy our artistic expositions and, of course, the food.
Wonderful. Absolutely. Well, we look forward to reconnecting in Cameroon sometime in the future. But thank you so much for joining us in this conversation today. We look forward to reading your reports, which the RISE community knows. Once the reports come in and they're evaluated, it goes back on your page for them to read all about the Success Week programs. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much, Vina, for having us. Thank you.